All right, here's the question today, y'all. Can a police officer be fired for donating money to Kyle Rittenhouse's legal defense? That's what we're tackling today. And you know why we're tackling it? Because it happened. So we need to talk about the legality behind it. I'm Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. I'm a lawyer, but I'm also a legal and political commentator here on YouTube. If you like this stuff, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos, okay? Let's jump into it. Virginia police officer. Virginia, by the way. That's not in Wisconsin. I'm not sure how good at geography you are, but that's not good. That's not in Wisconsin. Virginia police officer fired after donating to Kyle Rittenhouse Defense Fund. Well, he must have given like $1 million or something, right? Lieutenant William Kelly, who worked in internal affairs for the Norfolk Police Department, was fired after donating $25 to Kyle Rittenhouse's defense fund. $25. There's your job. Gone. Why? Because no one can let Kyle Rittenhouse have what he is legally entitled to, a presumption of innocence. They don't want him to have competent legal defense. They don't want anything. You cannot support Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse is a wrong thinker. He did the wrong thing. He should have just died in the street. That's what they want. For some reason, these people, and they're everywhere, want the outcome to have been Kyle Rittenhouse dying in the street. That's what it was supposed to be. But he broke that narrative by using justifiable self-defense. Now, I've done a bunch of videos on Kyle Rittenhouse. I'll link a playlist at the end of this video so you can check them out. But look, I've been through the tapes over and over and over again. I haven't seen any statements come out of Kyle that would run counter to what's on the tapes or compromise his legal defense. And this kid is not guilty. Like, you may not like that he ended up shooting people. You may not like that he went to the protest in the first place, although you have to engage in the cognitive dissonance that everyone who attacked Kyle was similarly in the wrong place, putting them all on the level playing field of all being legally situated in the same legal outcome, which is, if anything, they were all in violation of curfew. But that's a ridiculous sort of argument. Well, sorry, you violated curfew. Now you have to die is not an appropriate outcome for any of this. So you can disagree with his decisions. However, everybody in Kenosha that night made those decisions. They all made the decisions to be there. This wasn't 3-4 people. This was hundreds of people all making the same decisions. They're all similarly situated legally. So the question becomes, was Kyle justified in his use of deadly force against 3 different people, 2 of which he killed, 1 of which he severely injured? And the only conclusion I can come to after watching the videos over and over and over again, after reading statute after statute, after reading case law about the justifiable use of self-defense, yes, he was justified. Of course he was. I'm sorry, there's not a you have to die punishment for anything Kyle Rittenhouse did. And let's dispel something very quickly here. Kyle Rittenhouse was legally carrying a rifle in Wisconsin. You can disagree with the law in Wisconsin that allows a 17-year-old to carry an AR-15 style rifle openly, but it is the law. That's the law. I know he's charged with illegal carrying, but a careful read of that statute makes it very, very clear. It's actually Section C, if you want to look it up. It makes it very, very clear. This statute does not apply to someone who is carrying a rifle or a shotgun unless it's a short barrel rifle or shotgun, or if they're not in compliance with hunting regulations. But Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't hunting. He wasn't applying for a hunting permit. He wasn't tagging deer or anything like that. He didn't deer tag the dead people or anything weird. Kyle Rittenhouse was legally carrying a firearm for self-defense purposes, not for hunting purposes, and it does not apply to rifles if they are standard barrel rifles. If it's a short barrel rifle, different question. But this is a standard barrel rifle. I've seen nothing to indicate otherwise. All of the information, all of the pictures seem to confirm that it's a standard length barrel on an AR-15 style rifle, and that is fine. The statute doesn't apply. So Kyle's legally carrying a firearm. We have no indication that he instigated any sort of fight or used some sort of force to induce someone to attack him to then justify with deadly force. And even if he did, he retreated from the encounter. If you engage in some sort of combat in Wisconsin and need to use deadly force, you have a duty to retreat. That duty doesn't otherwise exist. So if Kyle was just attacked and didn't provoke the attack in any sort of way, he didn't even have to retreat, yet he still retreated. It was only at the point where he was no longer able to retreat from his attackers that he opened fire on them. And we have all of them on video. People attacking physically Kyle Rittenhouse, not making threats, right? This isn't some like obscure, weakly justifiable thing. We have physical contact with Kyle. We have him being knocked to the ground. We have him being pursued by multiple people, literally hitting him and going to hit him again when he opens fire. We have, in the complaint itself, we have his assailants reaching for his gun. Reaching for a gun, by the way, is justifiable use of deadly force. If someone is reaching for a gun that you have, in basically every state, you are justified in using that gun to stop them from taking your firearm. So let me be the risky one here. Kyle Rittenhouse is justified in his use of deadly force in Kenosha, Wisconsin, killing 2 people and injuring a third. There's not much legal question around it. And hopefully that will bear out in November. Because Kyle still has the presumption of innocence, something our country has forgotten over the past couple years. And look at how they're trying to punish him. Anyone who donated any money and can be located is being accosted here. Lieutenant William Kelly. This is just a cop in Virginia. Let's see what egregious crime he committed. Police officer in Virginia who donated money to support homicide suspect Kyle Rittenhouse was fired, authorities said Tuesday. William Kelly, who worked in internal affairs for the Norfolk Police Department, was terminated after he expressed support for Rittenhouse and made an anonymous $25 donation to his defense fund. The officer's message at the time read, in part, "God bless. Thank you for your courage. Keep your head up. You've done nothing wrong." Hey, guess what? Legally, I can't see anything he's done wrong. Did he make some questionable decisions? He made decisions that are different than me. Like, I'm not going to protest. But that doesn't make them the wrong decision. I'm guessing if Kyle could do it over, he probably wouldn't have wanted to shoot anybody. And he wouldn't have wanted to be required to shoot anybody to save himself. But that doesn't mean that he deserved to die. The alternative to all of this is that Kyle should have died in the street. That's what all of these people are basically saying. Because if he doesn't have the right to defend himself and he's in a reasonable fear of death or serious bodily harm, the conclusion is that those people were going to cause serious bodily harm or death to Kyle Rittenhouse. So his sentence is to die. And people are okay with that. Okay to the point of punishing people who have just donated money to someone they believe is not guilty. And again, let me remind you that our entire legal system is built on the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Not only has Kyle Rittenhouse not been proven guilty, I haven't even seen a credible accusation of guilt. If I were his defense attorney and I looked at the complaint that was against him, the criminal complaint, I might just file it as evidence that this case should be dropped. I'm being hyperbolic there, but even the criminal complaint is so weak. It's pretty clearly a political prosecution that is set to ruin this kid's life forever, even though they know they can't sustain the charges. But we'll see. We'll see. Now they're punishing anyone who supports Kyle Rittenhouse. Now here's the question. So the rest of the article you can check out. No, we're going to read this quote from his boss. Chief Larry Boone and I have concluded Lieutenant Kelly's actions are in violation of city and departmental policies. They don't say the city or departmental policy, by the way. That's Chip Filer, the city manager of Norfolk. His egregious comments erode the trust between the Norfolk Police Department and those they are sworn to serve. How? City of Norfolk has a standard of behavior for all employees, and we will hold staff accountable. Here it is. God bless. Thank you for your courage. Keep your head up. You've done nothing wrong. That's the egregious comments. That's the egregious comments. All right. Let's talk about the legal aspects of this. First of all, can you be fired for your speech as a government employee? Yes, absolutely. This guy was, right? So the next question is this firing legal? Is this firing legal? And that's a little bit more complicated. So first of all, anybody can fire you for anything forever. The question is whether you have a claim to get your job back or to have some other compensation afterwards. Now, this claim is a pretty obvious one. It's speech related. He has made speech. They're referencing his comments as improper. So when the government is going to fire a government employee over speech, we have a couple different things to work out. First, was the speech made in the employee's official capacity or in their personal, private capacity? This is a donation anonymously with a comment to a legal defense fund. It seems like that speech was made in private capacity. It's not made as a representative of the Norfolk Virginia Internal Affairs Division or anything like that. It's made in his private capacity. So we get past that test. If it's made in their official capacity, they can be fired for anything that they say. All right. That's the government deciding how the government's message is disseminated. This isn't a government message. This is a private message. So we move to the next part. Was this on a matter of public concern? Yes or no? Well, Kyle Rittenhouse his firing is a news story. I'm pretty sure this is a matter of public concern. This is about self-defense. It's about the Second Amendment. It's about the protests. It's about all sorts of issues that you can get into. And whatever issue this William Kelly chose, that's a public issue. It's an issue of public concern. Kyle Rittenhouse's trial is mainstream news. There's no doubt about it. If it is a matter of private concern, then there is no protection from the First Amendment for a government employee. So if it's a matter of public concern, we get to move to the last test. And that is the more complicated question. But this one, he's unquestionably invoking First Amendment protections here. But the last test says, basically, is the city fulfilling its obligation to provide efficient and effective official duties by firing this person? So is his speech interfering with the city or the police department's ability to offer efficient and effective official duties? And the answer to that question from a common sense standpoint is no. How does his speech interfere with the city of Norfolk or the police department in any way? And they're talking about eroding public trust. What public trust are they eroding? Kyle Rittenhouse is not a clear case. In fact, it's a divisive case. That's why it's major news. It shouldn't be divisive. It actually is a clear case. Let me be very, very upfront about that, I guess, and fix that misstatement. It is a very clear case of a justifiable use of deadly force. But when I say it's not a clear case, it's because there is a political divide over Kyle Rittenhouse. There's some percentage of the country that's large that wants to see him behind bars because they either don't understand the law or they hate guns or they hate demographics or something. I don't know. And there's another set of the country that says this is justifiable use of force. And he should not go to jail for it. And then there's another set of the country who wants him to walk because of their political beliefs rather than because of a reasoned approach to the law. That's fine, by the way. All of those perspectives are allowable. We have this First Amendment thing for a reason. Now, with all of that said, how does a $25 donation with a little comment that says you did nothing wrong interfere at all with Norfolk, the city of Norfolk, or Virginia, or the Virginia Police Department, or anything. It doesn't. It doesn't. So should he be fired for this? It seems like suppression of his First Amendment rights. I don't think he should be fired. The question is, does he want to fight it? Do you want to fight for a job in which your politics, your legal reasoning, your public statement that wasn't all that public is cause for you to be fired, is so unwelcome in an environment where you will be now targeted for the rest of your employment for one statement and $25. We're in a crazy world here, people. And I don't know if William Kelly will want to fight this. He can. He actually can file a grievance and appeal the city's decision. He is entitled to an opportunity to be heard. He's been given notice with the firing. He's entitled to an opportunity to be heard and to raise these First Amendment questions. And he should win based on the very basic test set out. His speech in no way impairs the city or the police department. But would you want to? That's the question. I don't know. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you found this educational and informative, hey, share it out there so other people know what's going on. Also, free Kyle Rittenhouse. Peace. Peace.